But beyond that, we closed the biggest job in our company's history. Um, I'd say it beat our last job probably by 50 or $75,000. And then after that, the leads between the 50 and $100,000, they're just have probably five of them in the planning stages that they seem to be ready to go once we put everything on paper. So beyond the quantity, I'd say the quality as well. Because you have, when I would leave those appointments, I would call you and I'm like, these people are legit. The budget that they click, they want to spend that money. I mean, I'd say obviously do it. That's the short answer. The hesitation, it's going to be there no matter what, because now that I know you, it's a different story, right? But before it was just a phone call and you have to take the chance, but the chance is worth it.
Today we're with Dimos, one of our recent landscaping, hardscaping clients. He's the owner of D&G, but I'll let him kind of take over. So, Dimos, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, your business, how long you've been in the landscaping?
The company has started at the end of 2019 or 2020. That timeline is a little blurry in my head. It did start in conjunction with me working the 9 to 5. So it was just a side hustle, trying to make some extra money. I'd say 3 years in, I realized that it's making a little more money than just a couple days a week and, a little extra income. So I said, let me try and pursue it a little more and see what we can get out of this company. So I had two full-time jobs and that only lasted for another 6 months or so. And after that, I made the decision to just go full-time. And
Mm.
it's been about 5 months now doing it full-time. And
Yeah, man,
it's been pretty crazy.
that's awesome.
We're a full-service company. We try to focus on the outdoor living aspect. Quite honestly, that's just the bread and butter of our business, what makes us the most money and what's the most fulfilling for us too, just creating spaces and just instead of just mowing lawns.
So what were kind of like the biggest challenges when you were switching over from the 9 to 5 to full time? So those early challenges when you were starting to grow the business.
I'd say capital is the toughest part in my head because it's easy to just go and buy a bunch of things, just get loans out, but then having to work to keep those things, those excavators or whatever they might be working is the toughest part. I was lucky enough to have that full-time job, so I was just able to be a little more risky.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then before we started working together, what was your marketing situation kind of looking like?
It was just messy. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing Google ads. Turns out I was doing them wrong. And that's about it. I had pretty bad experience with Yelp, so I shut that down. Every lead that we got from Yelp was just a waste of time. So the typical postcards and the direct mail, zero returns. I've put out probably close to 1,000 door hangers, zero calls. Pretty discouraging situation, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Gotcha. And then what were your biggest hesitations or concerns before you decided working with us?
I think it was pain to actually do real ads. When I didn't have the success in the past, everything felt like it's just not going to work because that's what I thought the ads were. And in my head, I said, okay, that's probably a waste of time. Good thing you're good at what you do. So I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And the rest now is, I mean, history. The last few short months that we had working together, I mean, they've blown my mind as far as results.
And then so yeah, kind of touching on that, like once we started working together, what was like the first big shift you noticed in the business?
I'd say it was definitely the quantity of leads at first. They were coming in super fast. I would wake up to like three new leads every night. And at first, I'm like, okay, this is probably just people scrolling through Facebook that they just see a nice photo on the ad or a video. And then they say, okay, maybe I want something like that. But I mean, it turns out they were pretty solid leads. So beyond the quantity, I'd say the quality as well because you have when I would leave those appointments, I would call you and I'm like, these people are legit. The budget that they click, they want to spend that money.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely before we started those Facebook ads, those leads would be far and few.
Yeah.
Mostly referrals, to be honest. To get that quality of lead, it would have to be through word of mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then how would you describe your experience working with us, like so far, especially communication and support?
Yeah, that's the best part of it. I think it's just easy to deal with, just seamless. Like I don't have to do much to be honest. Even like when we're setting things up, you guys were super easy to deal with. I'd be working and you'd say, hey, we need that. And I would be like, okay, can I just send you a photo of my card? And would you guys be willing to do it? And you said, yeah, sure, no problem. So for me, it just took 10, 15 seconds for each thing and then it just was done. But the communication is very key. You following up, any questions I might have, you answer the phone or you call me right back. So I mean, I can't complain.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Are you able to share any like specific results you've seen from so far in terms of leads, jobs booked, or revenue, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we've gotten the biggest lead in our company's history. I think within the last 2 or 3 weeks. The beyond that's not secured yet, but beyond that, we closed the biggest job in our company's history. Um, I'd say it beat our last job probably by 50 or $75,000. And then after that, the leads between the 50 and $100,000, they're just have probably five of them in the planning stages that they seem to be ready to go once we put everything on paper. So we have a lot in the works, but I believe that for next spring, as of right now, we have, I think, 3 pools that we're going to do, which is, it's crazy. Planning that much work in at the end of August, now it's September 1st. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Very excited for next spring and see what that might bring us
Yeah, yeah,
for sure.
definitely. And then also now that you have a steady flow of leads and projects in the pipeline, what are your kind of plans for growth for the near future?
Plans for growth. I think, and I've been really debating this if I should do this or not. I believe a actual that would follow up on those leads just beyond myself because it's been pretty busy. Beyond that, just we need to add at least one more crew for next year.
Hmm.
We'll see how that goes,
Yeah.
but that's a great problem to have.
Yeah, yeah. And then what would you kind of tell another business owner who's kind of unsure or on the fence about investing in marketing with us?
I mean, I'd say obviously do it. That's the short answer. The hesitation, it's going to be there no matter what, because now that I know you, it's a different story, right? But before it was just a phone call and you have to take the chance, but the chance is worth it. And what's the worst case scenario? If the ads don't work for you, you can just stop them. It's not something that you're locking someone in for a year or two, right? And then they feel obligated. But the cost of the ads between you and Facebook or whatever else they might choose, whatever platform, at the end of the day, it's very insignificant to the results that you're getting. And the company's not going to grow unless you have leads coming in. Without leads, you can have the best guys, but if they're sitting in the back of the shop and they're not doing work, the company's not going to grow. And you have to pay to play.
Yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And then kind of lastly, like, is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience working with us?
I'd say I'm looking forward to you guys expanding for your team too. And I'm actually looking forward to us giving you the products as far as videos and stuff to see what else you guys can do with the ads. Because the more we do, the better I think the ads are going to do and the easier your job is going to be.
Yep.
So I think the more we grow, our success is going to grow through those ads as well.
Yeah,
I
for
think it's
sure.
just a little bit of a time game, and then I have to kind of step up my game to take those photos and videos because I'm definitely bad at that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, man. Yeah, that's all I got for you today.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, no problem.